I mean to ask you, like, I'm a huge fan, but like, I like the part of music. I think it's all good. Like, but why do you sound so angry? That's not angry. That's passion. Oh, okay. Hey, I need to ask you, why do you sound so angry? I'm a huge fan. I like the part of music. I think it's all good. Like, but why do you sound so angry? Angry? That's not anger, man. That's passion.
The devil's in the detail, being put inside. Oh, a holy cry, but I'll be in the hide without an alibi. It's a love story without an alibi. It's a fire inside. I'm really alone, playing with the monsters, everything that brought me alive. Going around like monsters, playing with the monsters. They brought me alive, but got no alibi. It's a love story without an alibi. Without an alibi. Got me on the road, now there will come all to die. It's a love story without an alibi. 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 Everything that brought me
Hello, everybody. Welcome
Welcome.
to the Break the Spell podcast. Been trying to work on it and work on these thumbnails. Hope you're liking them. Tonight's a little bit provocative because I want to be anarchy. And to see what you guys think about anarchy. What does it mean? What does it truly mean? Because I think we have the wrong idea, and I have had the wrong idea about anarchy for a long time. And as we talk about, and we're going to continue to talk about, setting up parallel societies and creating the world that we all want for each other and for ourselves, anarchy plays a big part in this. Because anarchy really, I mean, what do y'all think it means? I mean, some say it means total chaos or lawlessness, and that's not what it means. It means without a ruler or rulers. If you go to the true root of the word and the etymology of the word, it means without rule. So, and that goes all the way back to Latin.
Because, we're all big boys and girls and know how to, I mean, obviously there are also people out there that don't like to take self-accountability, but for the most part, we know how to handle ourselves, right?
And that's the whole thing, is we've been told our whole lives that we need that structure. And it is good to have structure, but we don't need structure that's corrupt.
Right.
And that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a lot of corrupt structures. And so when they get that corrupt, we can't change them. All we can do, and what we can do, is create new structures, create new traditions, create community, create that sense of community, that, helping each other out, looking out for your neighbors, not snitching on your neighbors like they, the government would like us to say. What's that?
Right. I'm sorry, I was reading Christy's comment. Yeah, he's that kind of guy, Good old Bo.
Yeah, now opens the cabinet, pulls it back. Yeah, he really wants food. We noticed his food aggressiveness. But anyway, and that's some anarchy right there. Like, I'm doing it my own way.
Like, hey, I know where to get it.
But this is the whole thing. When you want to live under an anarchist society, or in an anarchist society, everybody has to mind their P's and Q's.
Right.
Because there still are consequences for
your actions,
or hurting other people.
Yeah.
Whether that's through theft, abuse, violence, whatever that is. If it's not, and it doesn't mean we all have to, okay, if it's all for the community, then it's all good. That just becomes too much,
too much tribalism there.
Yeah, tribalism. But it is working together, knowing that each other, like, I don't have to hang out with you every day, but hey, I've got some eggs here, and you've got some beef cattle,
and you got pig,
or you've got some milk, or you make cheese, or you make butter. Can we trade? And we're still going to need money. We're still going to need that monetary value, and that's, like, I guess I should mention it now, is, the value. This is a value for value show. It's time, treasure, and talent. Whatever you can give. If some of you can make clips of some of you know how to make clips and screen record and create a clip out of this,
right?
And send it and share it on your own page, that would be awesome. Share it with us. Make sure you tag us in it. Or if it's on YouTube, send us the right link.
Talking shit,
and we'll share it too. But yeah, if you're talking shit, but you can talk shit. That's the whole thing.
Right.
Get us comments. You know, if you love it, tell us you love it. If you hate it, tell us you hate it.
Speech.
If you have critiques,
no one's the boss.
We're open for them, because that's what's going to keep creating these shows as we go.
Right.
It's going to take a tribe.
Yes.
It's going to take a community to really, and that's what I've learned just live streaming. The amount of years that I have, it really does take a team. And I see the same people in here every time that I go live, that we go live, that are here supporting.
Right.
And we appreciate it.
Yes, we
do. We appreciate your sharing. And that's the whole thing. I think we need to get our shares up on Facebook. We're trying to grow our YouTube channel. So anybody who is not, that's just my channel, Aaron Fowler, Psychic Shaman.
Right.
We're trying to grow that channel. So if you want to go in there, give it a like, give it a subscribe, hit the bell, we'd appreciate it. But these are ways of supporting the show.
Right.
It doesn't always have to be monetary. Now, monetary helps and helps things move a little faster.
Right.
And there are people that can't afford it. If you value the show, please
share it.
Throw something down.
Or
let us,
comment.
Share it, comment. If you have monetary value you want to give to us.
If you have an idea that you'd like us to talk about.
But that's, all of this stuff matters. Like graphic design, ideas about how to get things going and how to get things bigger, and how to grow the channel. This is all time, talent, and treasure.
Right.
The talent being you can create something with what we're doing and maybe share it out and help it out with your own artistic views or creative skills. Talking about it, word of mouth is still the biggest way to get things out. So we're going to be talking about a lot of deep topics. Again, there's some deeper topics, but that's for a whole other show and class. We actually have a class that we teach, the metaphysical mystics, but I'm going to get all my plugs out here. So these aren't ad reads. They're just, this is what we do.
These are our personal plugs.
We're not plugging anybody other than the producers.
Right.
We'll plug you every time. If you don't want to be plugged, if you don't want to be thanked, okay. Some people don't, but most people, appreciate it because they're supporting, they're giving. And, right now we've got Christy Lewandowski. We've got Anthony Lewis. We've got Kathy Graves, Teresa Dalton. I mean, who am I missing? There's many other names in here that I see all the time. Let me see. I can go through it right now.
And
Deb Richardson.
I apologize.
Here, Carrie Williams or Winters, not Carrie Williams. Sorry, Carrie. She's also another big producer because she shows up every time.
Right.
She shows her support. So we just ask for comments if your opinions.
Engage. Right.
And engaging in what we're doing.
And if you do just want to be that silent observer, just share it out.
Yep.
And maybe if you're on Facebook, do the likes. I guess you can't do much of that.
But don't feel bad if you can't leave a monetary donation.
Right, exactly.
We appreciate them.
That's right.
There's other people that will do that, and we appreciate it. But the sharing and your critique and jumping on the
giving us ideas
online, jumping into the studio and talking and discussing things that we talk about. These things are all valuable, very valuable. So
that's right.
Just want to get that out of the way.
Yes.
But if you do want to find a place and you do want to leave a monetary value, it is in the show notes.
Yep.
My linktr, linktr.ee/psychic shaman 333 has my PayPal, my Venmo, and my Cash App in there. So if you want to leave something, if you feel like this show is valuable, we appreciate it. All right, now on to anarchy again.
Anarchy.
So what did you guys think of anarchy? Like, what was the words that or what did you think growing up
that
anarchy meant? Like, before I just explained what it is truly, what was it? What is it that you thought, like, what did you attach to the word anarchy? What was your definition or the definition you came to know? Go ahead and leave it in comments and we'll read them. Hello, everybody.
I'll start. I grew up with this idea of anarchy being total chaos, like destruction, right?
Yeah.
Way off from what it actually means.
Yep. Continue.
Oh, well, I was just starting. Anyway, but no, I mean, really, it's way off from what it really means. I mean, and if we notice, this has happened to a lot of words in our vocabulary.
They've been demonized because they're a threat to the establishment.
And even recently, they've gone as far as to change definitions for us.
Yeah, actually, in history, and they're still trying to do it. Like some groups, or cabals, whatever, the underworld of which is basically our government. They they demonize words because words have power.
Yeah.
And the words that are powerful against them or that will stop them and their shenanigans,
Yeah.
they don't want those words to be said or spoke,
Right.
or even, there's been people that have been killed for being anarchist. And like I said, I was trying to connect this earlier just a minute ago. They're being called terrorists. If you're a patriot, you're being called a terrorist. I'm not a patriot. I mean, I don't consider that's not the definition I'd like. I'm more of somebody that's an enlightener or somebody to let you know, hey, this is where we're going.
Right.
Just prepare whatever way you want to do that. I'm not forcing you to do one way or another.
That's right.
I'm just showing you what I'm seeing. And
be aware of these.
What I'm seeing is like open air prisons.
Right.
And that's where we eventually go on this path.
That's really where we've been, if you ask me, is the open air prisons. We all feel like we're free. We've been fed this beautiful illusion of choice. But when you get down to brass tacks, there ain't shit.
Like, do you ever notice, does anybody ever notice? And please leave some comments, engage. Keep us riffing.
Yes.
But to have good credit, you have to have a certain amount of debt.
That's right.
And that's not good.
Isn't it backwards?
You can't have too much.
Right?
But if you have just the right amount that they can keep charging you 28% interest.
Yep.
This is the slavery we're talking about. Yep. It's debt slavery. I mean, you all have heard that word being thrown around. But it doesn't matter. Even millionaires,
right?
They're still a slave to that system.
Yep.
Eventually, if you want to, and you're not worried about shitting on people, and you don't care, yeah, you can become a billionaire.
Right. Woohoo!
And that's what it takes to become that. Trillionaires, billionaires. It's systematically just fucking the system everywhere they can.
Right.
Everywhere they can. That money and we all need to think this way too, but not hurting people doing it.
Right.
They have it circular. It's like that circular energy that comes back. It just keeps coming back. So everything they invest, it always comes back to them. And that's a smart thing. But what some people in this world do not care about is human life, human suffering.
That's right.
Or suffering of anything on this planet. And it's funny because a lot of those same people are the ones that are crying out climate change.
They're the ones saying, we need to save the world, y'all.
As they destroy
Do it for your grandma.
So that's why we got to be careful who we're listening, what message we're listening to, what movement we're following or into. Because the whole climate change movement is a crock of shit. It's a big scam.
They're trying to bring us down to a net zero. Do you know what that means? That means zero life. That means we cannot exist.
There are certain people with a lot of money that do want this. They want to own nature. They want to own everything and rent it to you or give it to you if they see fit.
And you'll like it. They'll make it nice and fun for you.
I mean,
don't you worry.
So I think that's why it's a time for anarchy. That's what does bring us to that higher realm, like we were talking about last night, the yugas, the 4 yugas, the Kali Yuga. We have to be able to rise above that with good intent, integrity, courage, the courage to move forward, the strength to move forward and not be afraid of any of the shit that they're throwing out there.
Right.
Just because they have a lot of money to make it appear that that's the way it is.
Well,
that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to get you used to, well this is just the way you're going to do it. Sorry.
Let's put it this way. I'm sorry. I was kind of cutting you off, so I apologize. But let's put it this way. If I can afford to be on TV, I must have a lot of fucking money. Because you can't even buy a basic cable show on a dead fucking channel these days for less than muku bucks.
Right. Buku,
whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so Teresa said, Lennon had a great song about what you have to do to get rich. Yeah, and that's even a weird thing. Don't go down the Beatles rabbit hole. That's one that's old.
Oh my gosh.
And the more you go down it, the more you get disappointed.
Yeah.
Like they were just throwing in different people in there that were really good musicians and naming them John or Paul or, it was the first one was obviously Paul. That shit was real. Like some of that story, like maybe, it's kind of went really far.
It's gotten quite convoluted.
But the Beatles are part of it. They were part of the Tavistock Institute, which is basically how they, how they change the narrative, how they change the paradigm, how they take it over. And I think the Beatles were heavily abused by their managers, by their handlers. And it sucks because I grew up on the Beatles. I love the Beatles. And I think that's what happened is one of the John Lennons, or maybe the original one, maybe it wasn't. But they were doing facial recognition. There's a thing I watch where they do facial recognition or facial matches. And a lot of them, like from over the ages, it seems like they were changing out the musicians. So that whole when everybody said no, there's no John or Paul is dead or whatever.
Come on, we're not doing
that's
shit.
but maybe it was. Maybe they didn't mean he was dead, but I guess the conspiracy is, or the theory is, I don't like to say those both together,
right? But
the theory is that Paul died a long time ago. Somebody came in to replace him, and I think that guy's name was Billy Sheehan or Billy Sheehan. I believe.
I am so bad with the names. Maybe you know that.
Billy Shears. And if you look it up, there's actually a book called Billy Shears, I believe, written by Billy Shears, and he admits to taking over that position. And they looked very, very close. You can see, like I said, that whatever I watch, I mean, it's all
a lot of
theory, but this one, the more and more, like, I don't want to believe it because I'm like, no, because then that would screw up my whole look on how the Beatles are. But that's what's fighting anarchy. Like they appeared to be anarchists, right? They appeared to be free and showing you how to be free. And that was their message, is to be, at least some of the time, at least when they started to get on their psychedelics.
Free. But no, understand certain movements that even sound good, like the spiritual movement. I consider myself, I guess, part of that because I work in that realm. But if you look at these movements, when they're called movements, these communities, right, you can kind of see the co-option, right? You start to recognize, and that's what I mean by, like, if you see something so much, and I don't mean like a certain person or like whatever, because obviously your feed is drawn by you. They're digging your data for your feed, okay? But understanding that what they're putting in your face the most, like most often, whether it's something that you feel like you want to buy or something that you were just thinking about or like whatever, if you can see and recognize those patterns, you can start to understand that there's something feeding something. Like, you know what I mean? Like when you start to understand truly the mysticism of life and a mechanism that could maybe entrap you in being able to see things happening, thinking they're organic when they're really just being fed to you. You know what I mean? And the more open you can get about that and understand that things are being fed to you based on your habits will change.
Especially now.
Yeah.
Because they can, everything, your keystrokes, everything you search for, everything you talk about, especially what you talk about, it gets stored, but it also triggers red flags, or flags. So, okay, now I'm going to talk about my leg hurts. So now that you're going to get a lot of stuff about pain management or how to fix your leg or braces, you're going to get all those things. And that's got to be careful with that because it is really easy to just fall into that. Well, yeah, this is perfect for me.
Oh my gosh. However, look at there's this perfect thing.
It's also data that's being, used for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was going to go off on a whole nother thing, but I think that's a whole nother thing. That's why I stopped.
As long as it sticks to anarchy.
Well, it kind of is.
Why it works.
It's understanding that
even there are bad things to anarchy too.
Yes.
To everything.
Yes.
You have to be able to hold your integrity.
I have to defend my land.
And you know what? When somebody doesn't, they have to be held accountable.
That's right.
Whether it's among a group of people and talking to them and trying to figure out where things are going wrong. That's what we have the biggest problem with. If we don't have any. There's no real consequences for a lot of these people. And they all have each other blackmailed, so they'll all let each other off. That's why they all work together. One has the other blackmailed, that one has more blackmail on that person. And that's why it's important to kind of live in integrity, live, and that's not easy. We're all human and not perfect at all.
Which is why you got to recognize when you've made a mistake. And even if maybe someone's called you out on something and you're like, you want to defend it, but you can see their point, be willing to state that. Go, okay, look, I see your point. However, I'm not taking that as a null and void to my point. I'm saying
Right.
that, there's another angle I got to look at.
Yep. And that anarchy comes with things of like, people can be free to do what they want as long as they're not hurting others.
Yep.
If they want to hurt themselves, you can try to stop them, and you should. But ultimately, like I've heard of many instances where suicide victims are getting like mowed down by police,
right,
and killed by police because they're suicidal.
Yep.
They don't want to kill anybody else. They're just suicidal on themselves. I've heard this just throughout my life. When I was a kid, there was something that happened in a small town that I grew up in, where just right down the street, there was a guy that was suicidal. And I don't know, there was a few cops that showed up because he was suicidal, called in like a suicide, kind of check, like a well check. And they ended up shooting him to death. These kind of things happen because people are irrational, or people have lost their sense of humanity.
We've been stuck in a society that teaches
Instead
us,
of trying to diffuse, they just
emergency.
Well, I've got something here. I've got a gun, and that's what the problem with guns is. People with certain people with guns that use them improperly. However, I will protect that right to bear arms.
This is not the guns.
Right.
It's the person.
It's the person. If you're not watching, and a lot of these incidents that happen, these shooting incidents, a lot of those that happen, you find out, that a lot of them are because of the FBI has been in contact with that person or knows of that person. Almost every time you can follow that pattern. That's
when
a pattern I
follow. When you find these shocking, like major gun issues, you will find an FBI connection somewhere.
Yeah, because they're trying to sell legislation.
Yes.
So they can take away more.
They're utilizing.
So they're actually, it's just like anything with any war that starts, it's all because of, like with Vietnam, it was the Gulf of Tonkin. With Pearl Harbor, they didn't enter until that happened. Like they didn't enter the war until that happened, and then all of a sudden, a lot of these things, like they all start the same way. They're all like this manufactured.
We've been working with Ukraine for quite a while, training some people, doing some stuff, funding some shit. All of a sudden, now we got to protect Ukraine. And
there are plenty of Ukrainians dying, but a lot of them are Russian.
But
that live in Ukraine.
Yes, understanding the
reality. There's a lot of things that are flip flopping. Understand, they are trying to create an upside down world.
Yep.
But they haven't succeeded.
Yep.
At least with some of us. Some of us just follow everything we're told.
Some of us get fed it, and it's really in our
without questioning it.
That's right. Some of it is just in the psyche for some people.
It's safer there. They think it's not safer there, but that's the panic when you're afraid and you're scared.
That's
look at the last 3-4 years that have been going on, like the total panic and or look at 9/11. Well, the same thing. There's always this panic and fear, which it does. People die.
And understand, look at how they've kind of shifted.
They're willing to do that to get something done. It's bottom line. This is we need to get this done.
I want to use
this country has resources that we need, so we're going to go do that. And I don't want that anymore.
The last 10 years is my example, okay? Because I'm bad with time. I'm bad with all that kind of shit. So I'm going to say 10 years. I'm going to use this last 10 years because we've all been alive more than 10 years. We can pay attention to 10 years, right? Okay. Look at how they've kind of just inadvertently started submerging us into this bullshit.
When we say they, it means monopolies. It means
the monopoly.
The companies that have monopolies over things.
They're
over everything. They have control.
They're getting the most.
The controllers. The controllers. There we go. We can name names, and we will sometimes.
But if you watch over the last 10 years, how things started just kind of, it seemed incremental at first. It seemed sort of like whatever, and we kind of ignored it. But if you watch over the last 10 years, they sold us on so many different flus and so many different this and so many different that. And it was always about the kids, right? Because
they want human trafficking, kids, right?
It was all about the kids. It's all about the kids. Now it's do it for your grandma.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if we can,
we all know this is bullshit. It's all crumbled already.
If we can start to understand these patterns, if we can really look
at what they're like, what we're taking in, at least. I mean, what they're feeding and what we are taking in, and truly understand the way that we are being manipulated. It's a lot easier to step outside of that and kind of do your own thing, even if you're still dealing with certain aspects of things, but also having enough integrity or enough whatever it's going to take for you to win that opportunity, just because you need something that's within that state of programming you don't want to deal with. If you cannot do that without fucking selling some part of yourself off, don't do it. Figure it another way, or go without for a minute. Life doesn't come without sacrifice.
That's the whole thing. And I think, it's going to be important in the coming years that we think about becoming more dependent and not codependent on the system, and start to create our own systems. Because the more we can do that, the more we can connect to each other. And like I said earlier, we can make this world a much more connective and not just cold-blooded system.
Right.
We don't have to rely on war. And look how much money goes into war, into killing people, into hurting people, into destroying things. We could, and some homeless want to be homeless, but just as an example, every homeless person could have a house paid off. Truly. As much money as they put into the military spending. And a lot of that shit is just basically stealing money. They're just there's no accounting, because they're just taking it. I mean, that means that not even all the developments they're paying for, they're getting. The world, or at least our system, and a lot of systems around the world, are built on grants and funding from the government. The government does that for a reason, which does work. But what happens is, if you get corrupt people in there, they're going to just take your money.
They've been stealing from us. Like, dude, seriously, we have got taxation without representation times a million. Okay, look, I am all about the idea of insurance. Trust me, I am. But having had insurance and dealing with insurance and watching insurance my whole life, I'm going, so we just pay these people fucking hundreds and thousands of fucking dollars throughout our whole life, just in case something might happen. They might cover some of that thing. It's truly understanding what you're fucking feeding into, right? Right now, I'm paying into a government, or government wants me to pay into them. I haven't, actually. I'm one of those people. I'm definitely one of those useless feeders they talk about, okay? Because I don't know. I mean, I do what I'm supposed to, but as minimally as possible. Because I've always had this idea of, like, it's bullshit. Like, if I'm paying for you to make sure my schools are this and this is happening and that's happening, but I'm growing up and I'm existing in my life, not seeing these happen, but every year or every 6 months or every however often it is, you're coming at me for this. Every paycheck, I've got to pay these taxes. And yet, my streets are no fucking better. My schools aren't no wiser. Like, you're dumbing me down. You're making it worse. What am I paying into right now? And yet, someone in this world has convinced us you have to.
A lot of people that are guiding the education system, that are guiding the shipping, getting our food to us. Like, they're all in control of that centralized system. All this big pharma, big agra, big government, and they're all working together. Because they pay a lot of those people.
That's right.
They give them money. Like, they give them money to operate, because they operate the way they want them to.
That's right.
And all you need is a couple bad apples, and over time and over years, they'll bring in a lot of other bad apples, just on favors and blackmail. We don't want to live that way. No. That's not the way we want to live. I know that everyone watching does not want to live that way.
Right. Which is why I said I love the idea.
That's why we take it back. It is by the people, for the people, but we don't rely on the government to do that for us.
That's right. That's right.
And that's what anarchy is. We cannot
depend on one person. We cannot depend on the people that, if we, like, in the state and communities, especially smaller ones, I think some of these bigger states and communities are just thought out no matter what. Like Utah, for one. Sorry, but really.
I think all of them. At this point.
But no, dealing with, like, simple local things and really working with your community, if you really are. But here's the problem is, I feel like that many people do go in pure-heartedly, but when they start to get risen up to do more, that's when shit starts to
Krista
hit
said,
the
how do
fan.
we get away from this? Well, we create systems. We
Yes.
get to know our neighbors better.
That's right.
We start co-ops.
Yep.
We do it in whatever way we can. Growing food in your home, like just
Yes.
growing your own food, so you're not reliant on any supply chain.
Teaching your children how to cook.
Knowing in your community
Clean.
who is it, if you like red meat, who is it that sells beef?
Yep.
Who is it that raises beef, raises cattle,
Yep.
and you can buy direct from them?
Right.
Who is it that has organic vegetables that you can buy close?
Yep.
And yes, we're still going to need that world trade, because there's certain things we can't grow here or wherever we're at that we can use.
Yes,
and we can still do that, but we do it from a grassroots place.
Right.
And we keep it there. We don't try to grow bigger and centralize it. That's what the problem is right now.
Yes, that centralized shit is the problem. It's more convenient. They sold us big time on convenience. Isn't it nice that I can go to one place and I can get this and 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 this? However, what's the quality of all of that?
Right.
Now I was able to buy my underwear and my apples, but my underwear broke next day. You know what I mean?
Learning how to sew, if you are sewing, making things like
making
things that are needed,
like truly
making beanies, making mittens, making underwear, making pants. Like we lost all of that, like because we got into this place where this is
they're gonna bring
this is much more fashionable because it has a name on it and they're
make my t-shirt
perceived to be better.
Yep. And I totally spoke over you there. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, babe. Rip it. I'm reading the comments right now.
I was just saying, it's understanding the value of everything. Like truly and truly. Like I look back on my childhood. I don't try to beat myself up too much, but man, my lack of focus, dude, the shit I could have learned when I was younger really, really, really could have helped me out when I was growing up. I had a grandma that was not only a baker and a nurse, but she also crocheted and did sewing. And my attention span was so everywhere. I was so lost in my own traumas that I could not. I mean, I've picked some things up. Don't let me fool you here. I know some things, but I could be so much further along in this journey of actual self-sufficiency had I been able to truly understand the value of what I was being taught.
Right.
And instead, I was stuck in a trauma because I had parents stuck in trauma. And you can't blame it anywhere. You just have to realize it.
Just have to make create a solution for it. Like come up with a solution. There's always a solution to every problem. Always.
That's right.
There's always a few solutions, but some work better than others.
Right. Yeah, you're right.
And I think we're in such a broken system, or we're all dependent on such a broken system that at any time things could go completely sour.
Mm-hmm.
And if the last 3 years haven't shown you that, there's nothing more I can teach you. There's nothing more I can tell you. If you don't get that, just seeing what's happened in the last few years over a supposed thing that can kill us all.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Look, 10 years, dude. We had swine flu. We had fucking okay.
Careful with
I'm sorry.
whole
You're
words.
right. I don't want to go putting out too much out there. I know you're right. But let's look at how many things were flung at us before this thing landed and they decided this was the one.
Right.
And now, today, this one, through just proof, shit. Can we not see through the veil already?
That's right.
Can we not see that we have grown a society on marketing? And if you're willing to fall for it, you fell for it, because that's what this world is. It's marketing.
Yep. It's just building something on your own without the dependence of everything,
or something
something that you build that eventually takes you out of that dependence.
Right.
You know, like I want to create solar power. So I'm going to create solar power. Yes, it's going to be a big investment at first, but after a while, it's going to start paying off. And, there's some issues with solar power or just having, you're still going to depend on the systems for some things, but like refined oil or, turn into gas.
But knowing though that you
still need that
communities and you step outside of it, the more those aspects that right now are big and focused in one spot are going to start to disperse because it's no longer profitable.
Right.
And maybe you found someone that owns 20 acres that actually has a little oil on their land, and they're going and they're getting their own stuff, right?
Yep.
Like, it really is about reaching
Like,
out.
stop being shy and go, like, meet your neighbors.
Yes.
Like, there's a lot of cool shit that your neighbors know.
And maybe you'll never talk to them, but
and you know, when we were all young, most of us here that are watching, we did have that sense of community. We were losing it at that time. The 80s did a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Because it was all about, you know, self and making so much money, and it was when the yuppies were coming into play.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's because as the system that we've been brought into and warned about throughout the whole time, as it continued to grow and we did not heed the warnings, yeah, you find yourself thinking you're doing one thing, doing another.
Yes. Because you got tricked into it.
That's right.
I got tricked into a drill the other day. Like they said, they pay a $10 thing for, you know, put in your credit card.
All you gotta do is pay the shipping.
I was like, okay, I need a drill because I'm going to be building. I'm going to need that. It's always good to have tools. And sometimes those are real. Like,
right.
This one wasn't, and I didn't look closely enough to it, and I ended up it took my $10 that I, you know, for shipping.
Right.
But then it also took like $58, almost $60.
Yeah.
So I like had to put a stop payment on that.
Yep.
Now I'm gonna have to go wait, you know.
We have to wait 30 days for
however
that money
long.
back.
And
whatever.
you know, it was really easy for me. Like, yeah, psychics can get sucked into things too if it happens fast enough. We're all human.
That's right.
I can channel, I can get connected. But if somebody comes in and lies to me or is not being honest with me when I'm giving them a reading, they're not going to get an honest reading. They're not going to get a clear reading.
Right.
Because they're lying to me.
A skewed perception. And either...
And I have gotten better at noticing when that happens, so I can kind of nip it in the bud. But I can still be like excited by certain things and kind of go off track.
Right.
If somebody's coming into it without an open heart, an open mind, and willing to learn, yeah, those readings sometimes they're gonna still work, but they're not gonna be what you want from them. Like, I'll get people that pretend like they say they're gonna pay, or they have already paid. Actually, that happened today.
Yeah.
We're like asking for a reading as if they were acting like they've already paid or made that donation. And
trust me, when I'm doing will and names, sometimes
and it's like, why are you willing to be that deceitful to get that?
Right.
You know? Like, do you think you're really going to get a clear reading?
Like, if I'm lying to someone, what makes me think I'm going to get the best advice?
Yeah, they're only cheating themselves.
That's right.
And Deb says, and Deb Richardson.
Well, and see, that's the thing. I think that's kind of why I stopped doing readings a little bit, because the way I tap in, I don't often get that visual assistance, right? It's definitely the way I feel. And I do, unfortunately, depend on the cards or whatever I'm pulling, whatever tool I'm using to really guide me in what I am getting through intuition and my senses. And there's times where I can go in depth and I can tell you all the stuff that I'm sensing. And it really sucks because I really feel like I'm giving you the exact message, but you're like, oh, no, I don't see that place. Nope, nothing like that exists in my life. But here's the whole thing. I shouldn't let that sway me as much as I do, because it's about shifting your perception to can you see a spot like that in your life?
Right.
Is there a space that even remotely feels like this to you?
And I feel like I have to break in because Anthony's here. Anthony, I know you left $40 earlier. Okay. You were watching it on a replay. And I was trying to send you a message, but it's hard to send through comments. But yeah, tomorrow when I do another Facebook, we'll do the readings you wanted for people.
Yes.
Anthony gifted readings today.
Oh,
I just want to let him. Yeah, he gifted $40. So
all right, so tomorrow we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
Dude. Hell yeah.
Just letting you know, I saw that coming. Thank you.
Yes.
And yeah, we'll do that tomorrow.
I appreciate you. But anyway, like I said, and a lot of people though are like me. They want to dismiss how intuitive, how connected they are because they're not getting that immediate feedback. And all I have to say with that is stop.
Stop.
Really though, understand that when spirit is speaking to us,
most people that do leave a donation, they don't complain about it. Like,
right.
Some people like, I want a reading, and that's cool, and I'll give
Yep,
them a reading.
that's right.
But we do it like replay shows up as live sometimes on Facebook for some reason.
It looks like he's live and he's not.
Yeah,
really.
and it's just if I'm not answering you, that
It's
means
been
that I'm
such a
not
joke,
live.
really. Dude, PayPal and
'Cause
all
I
those
will
people
notice those
started
things.
punishing me long before all this bullshit that made it so easy to get kicked off. Okay, so fuck them. But yes, understand that if you feel like you're being ignored, please contact us personally, because really we do try to get to everything, and we try to see everything coming through. We try to make sure that we are recognizing, but because we are working with algorithms and platforms that work their own way, I cannot guarantee that everyone's going to feel like they're getting the respect they deserve.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
What are we in? Is it January 2nd?
Yeah. I'm doing the Wheel of Names. I'm going to get it all
2023.
filled out tomorrow, you guys. So I don't know if we're going to go
Let's not
tomorrow
worry
with
about
the
that
Wheel
right
of
now.
Names, but we'll do the next
No,
one.
in the next couple of days.
Yeah.
It could be the 5th. Who knows? But thank you all for being here.
Yes.
Shit, we've got like 11, 12 people watching at the same time. It goes down to 8, and it comes back up to 12. Please keep sharing. Keep hitting those emojis. Those emojis mean a lot.
They
Like
do.
if you're smashing those emojis, and keep
Dude, I don't
them,
care if you have an angry face, Matt. What
angry
that
faces
tells
work
me
too.
these days.
Just don't end on an angry face, and you're
Right.
good.
Well, no, but what this,
Because then I don't look at people and go, why did this person leave me an angry face?
and I
terrible.
look at it totally differently these days. I'm going, someone's trying to get me all in the algorithm. Look, this person left me melon. Good. You know what I mean? Anyway,
Krista, that's something. What you just said was you just said, I'm always invisible.
Dude,
are you though?
Because
I just noticed you.
Yes. Krista, let me tell you.
You're not invisible to me.
Feel that invisible vibe. And let me tell you, we have to remember that this is a superpower for us. We can actually be a fly in the wall right in the middle of it, right? Understanding the superpower of feeling invisible is the total cure of the invisible feeling when you feel meek and weak, right? Understanding the reason that I can actually go through life not being seen is because I'm observing something, I'm learning something, I'm seeing something, I'm gaining something. And this motherfucker over here can't even see me.
She's got a complex.
Well, no, but really understanding that, really, I'm a short person, so
she feels like she's
complex.
invisible.
But no, but really, but understanding it differently. And understand, I get to do a lot of things.
Person. You like about? Were you trying to put out a PSA?
No, I'm saying.
Hello, everybody.
That I am speaking.
I'm a short person, and I matter. I'm invisible.
Oh my god!
But I'm very visible.
Thank you for making it a comedy show.
Shit.
Anyway,
it is a comedy show, partly.
But no, understanding that place where we feel kind of weak and not seen and not whatever is really a superpower when you really start to put it into focus. When you understand, you can actually do things invisibly, like you're there, you're seeing, you're witnessing.
But you have a cloak. That's actually a gift.
It really, really is. And being able to see that differently and taking yourself out of that victim mode of, oh my God, I'm not being seen, and actually empowering yourself and going, wait, I can learn so much more.
Yep.
Because they don't see me. Right? So flipping that thought whilst understanding it and embodying it and really accepting it, going, oh my God, I'm fucking invisible, bitch. Hell yeah. You're good.
It's true. All right, where are we going from here? We might have a short one tonight.
I don't know.
We should send out the link, right?
I did. Did I not?
No, not yet.
Okay.
We'll let people come on and talk, and let's don't cut each other off. Let's be
right.
And you know what? I think everybody here, nobody's done that, so I don't even know if I needed to say it. We're dropping the link to the studio right now. Anybody who'd like to come on, because we're going to probably keep this to like an hour and a half. So
yeah,
we've got about 40 more minutes.
Yeah.
What are you saying? Yep.
Oh, Teresa, sorry. I know. I respond. I don't read out loud.
Okay, so read it out loud so we
I just
can
remember
all
that
know.
I felt insecure when I joined the group. Remember? And yes, I do. And you know, that's the whole thing. Being able to kind of flip those ideologies, change the way you're thinking about it. When you're insecure about anything about yourself, it either comes from a trauma or an ideology that's been fed to you so long it's like just submerged into your subconscious. Consciously changing our subconscious, our physiology, our reactions, our being with physical thought and actual reality. It's tough work, but that's where we gain our empowerment. Oh, we have a friend.
It's Firefly. It's
Girlfriend, girlfriend.
It's the insecure one that used to be.
Right? And you're no longer, right?
No. Nope. It took me a little while to find my place, you know.
Right.
Yep.
It was all me.
That it is. It really is.
You know, I was just triggered and it's all good now, you know.
Good.
When you understand that, like you can pay homage to those people that bring you to your space, but truly honoring your space for yours, your realization, your new outlook is crucial. Never place that too much on the one that brought it to you, right? Like honor that, respect that, and like, oh my gosh, this person woke me up to this whole new idea and my life is all new. That's great. But that person's that person and you're the one that brought yourself there.
Yeah.
You're the one that carries yourself through.
That's a good point. Very good point.
Hello, Christy.
Hi.
Come on, Christy.
Yep, give me. I'll be right. I'll be right back, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
She's got a house full. We know why she.
Yes, she does.
And
It's funny
she
how
has
life
boys.
works. But I think finding our own sovereignty and finding our own freedom, that's important right now. Like,
it is.
Question fucking everything. Question me. Question everything you
Everything.
hear.
That's right.
Everything. Absolutely.
Like I said, you can honor those people that woke you up to certain ideas or brought you on certain paths to bring you to certain places, but don't place too much on that person. And unfortunately, I mean,
yes.
The more I wake up to myself, the more I realize my perfectionism, my wanting to be a certain way because I want people to see it a certain way is part of the problem for me.
Okay, Krista said, "Why are you making fun of me? I'm not. Was I making fun of you? How do you think that I was making fun of you? Please leave in comments. That wasn't what I was trying to do.
I think we're just trying to show how I felt that.
Oh, sorry, we're saying happy birthday to somebody.
Well, I felt that, Krista, and it was. I totally know what you're feeling.
Yeah,
because I felt that at first, but usually it's a trigger from the inside, not the outside.
We'll see. And here's the thing,
because so much love is here.
Outside things can bring you to a trigger, right? Like a certain word. Certain thing.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make fun of you, and I don't think I did.
There were times.
I mean, I will make fun of you,
right?
Like when you finally get to that place where I'll tease you just to like tease you into like.
He's a good teaser.
Awakening. Like, come on, think about it. Look at yourself. Look at what's going on.
Which is why
you're not invisible. That's all I said.
And that's why I
you're not.
Up
are you?
That whole
are you invisible right now?
Understanding that because I felt like no one saw me forever. I mean, people saw me. I always thought it was like creeps and assholes, but for the most part, I felt very much invisible. Okay. But for the most part, like all of my other issues, physical, mental, the works. I've got scoliosis, I've got an arthritis. But you know what? I do a lot of things that many people in this position, those titles, those labels couldn't do. You can look at it differently. You can begin to understand, hang on, I can enter a room and observe before eyes are on me. That gives me the opportunity to actually feel out the room. Do I want to be here? Do I need to understand what's going on? It gives you the opportunity to learn more without anyone else noticing shit, right? No one's
Yeah.
feeding you any kind of propaganda if they don't notice you. They're just doing their thing, and you get to observe. And when I realized that, because trust me, for a long time I was told I was slow and I was stupid, and I took it all the kinds of wrong ways for a long time. And I still kind of get on myself a little bit for some of it, because Jesus Christ, Mama, it took you that long to do this. But understanding that life doesn't work in just one way. And when I take my time, I get it done much better. When I can walk in there slowly and quietly, I can much better take in the environment. No one's immediately changing it for me, right? I can keep my energy mine while I sneak through here and kind of just observe what's going on.
But at the same time, what you can do is once you're in the room, right, and you think you're being noticed, all of a sudden you can disappear from everybody's
That's
sight.
right. That's right. Oh,
That's why
shit.
people
I was
forget
seeing you.
about you walking into the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of times where I've been in the room, people have noticed I'm there, and then all of a sudden I disappear, and
That's
it's like,
right.
but yet, and then literally I walk up behind them, tap them on the shoulder, and like, yeah, I'm right here,
Mhm.
and they jump out of their skin. It's like, dude,
Right.
we do
Right.
not do that shit, right? But it's,
Mhm.
once you understand that, like I said, for feeling alone, feeling invisible and stuff, these are traits and stuff of people who are able to walk between the veil, or literally walk
That's
through
right.
time and disappear. And because once you understand that, there will be times where in the back of your mind that you're walking down this, let's say in Brooklyn or somewhere, or in the big
Right.
city, or even a small town, and you're walking, here's the standard future building right now, then you go to the next building, and it has a completely different name, structure of it's completely different, and then you go to the next one, and you're like, hey, and you ask somebody from that's been there for that town, like, hey, wasn't that building like gray with bricks and stuff on it? And they say, oh yeah, that was a building that was burnt down 4 years ago, and they rebuilt it.
Mhm.
And you know that you've never. This is the first time that you've been to this town and stuff, and you ask about that, and the
Yeah.
people look at you all weird, and like,
Yeah.
yeah, you're not from around
Yeah,
here,
you're
but you're
trying to
like,
fit
you know
in.
about
They're like,
that
They're going,
fire
get the
wait,
fuck
that
out of
happened
what?
here.
4 years back.
Right. But
And
see,
like I
being
said, there's been
able,
plenty of times where I've sat at a table,
yeah.
walked in, sat at a table, and spooked out the waitresses and stuff there. People like, where did you come from?
Right.
And the people, like you said, the people that saw me walk in, like, yeah, he's been there.
Yep.
Okay.
Right.
Dude,
It's
I
just
told his
because
interview the
we're
moment he
out
walked
of
in. I
certain
saw him walk
people's.
in. He sat down. You didn't see that? Yep.
Yeah, and it's just because that's what's interesting about our gifts and abilities is that once you start understanding how that works, if you feel invisible, that means that there, at times, guess what? That is a saving grace, because you could be
Yes.
in an area
Yep.
that's very dangerous for you, and you're
You
getting
need
the
to be
feeling of being
invisible. Yeah.
invisible. That means that's a
Yep.
blessing right there, because
Yep.
you're
It
protected.
is.
Because I've caught plenty
Amen.
of stories and stuff where here's this person that went through this area, and 15 minutes later, there was a bad accident that happened there.
Right.
They
Just right
always
after
seem
they
to
hit
know
the
that
turn
it's
left,
coming.
bam, accident
Right.
happened.
Yep.
Yep. It's
Yeah.
understanding those things that we feel so terrible about within ourselves. 9 times out of 10 are our blessings. Really
Yes.
being able
It's
to
well
accept
put.
them and know them. Dude, I've got diagnoses beyond diagnoses that
C's. Diagnosis.
diagnoses.
Diagnoses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but most of the time it's all doctors
That would
and
bring me
stuff.
to a place
Doctors
that
have to put
I'm
a
just not.
title on something. They have to put you in a box.
Understanding that we are our ultimate power. The reason we need to fight for our sovereignty, for our own thought processes, for our own, not because we are definitely a communal breed, right? Like we definitely need human connection. We need those things as human beings. But in the biggest part, we need to be comfortable being who we are.
Mm-hmm.
Understanding we are more than the human that we're in, playing this human. And we need to understand our human in order to transcend all the other issues happening, right? We don't get so stuck in the human aspect, and we don't get so transfixed in the spiritual aspect that we can actually balance it and do some work.
That's well put. Very,
Mm-hmm.
very good point.
Because we are humans, and we're living in a really weird age where a lot of shit's happening, and no matter what we're doing, we're being poisoned and fucked with. I don't care who you are or where you're at. You're being poisoned and fucked with, at least a little.
Yeah.
Knowing that helps your consciousness, helps your being, helps your soul, helps that magic to take place. I am drinking this water to hydrate myself. I negate all negativity been placed in this water. That simple little blessing, though it doesn't take out all the metals and all the bullshit they put in there, it does help your body, your system, your mind to get past those challenges, because you're recognizing them and only taking in what you need to assist your body.
Yeah, definitely. Well, this place, this when we all come together, is a loving, safe place.
It definitely is.
And but the things that we say for Krista, maybe that just isn't resonating with you, and that's okay.
Well,
Maybe next time you can come on and it does.
Wow, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah,
So
she's actually
most
she's
of the
been
time when I'm
opening
doing
up.
readings, most of the time I'm doing readings for people and stuff, and at first I get, well, you know what, that doesn't fit with me. And I'm like, okay, well, give it a few days. And most of the time, for my turnaround is 2 days. Two days turnaround on most of my on my readings. And literally, I will have the person literally coming back early before I even woke up, sending me message. Hey, you know what? You were exactly right. It happened exactly the way you said it. I'm like, well, thank you. Okay, calm down.
Yeah,
I know you're excited about it. Okay, calm down.
See, and I do my best not to
Is
forget.
Christy still in here?
I don't
Like I
think
said, when you
so,
shock
darn
people
it.
the most with messages and stuff that really change the way their path is. And that's what all readers, people who use cards, all that stuff are doing, is reading the road signs that you can't see.
Yes.
Because even me,
Or that you
myself, try
can't
to
see
use
and
that
you're
from time to
ignoring.
time.
Or those
Am I
signs that you're
seeing
not,
the right road sign
wanting
right?
to believe yourself with. Yep. That's the way I see it.
And as being a
I
disabled
think
person, like I said, people that I work with disabled people and stuff, and most of the time, the one thing that disabled people don't have is confidence in themselves to do what normal people can do.
Yeah.
And if you treat a disabled person as a 100% non-disabled person, and you train them the same way you would a regular person, yeah, it may take them a while for it to click in for their translation on how you do something. But sooner or later, they're working 100% as a normal human being because you
and
gave
you
back
also
something
don't
that the
want to do
world
that
took
though with
away.
this ideology that we've been doing lately, because I told let me tell you what, I raised a child with a mental disability that does affect everyday life. However, she was smart, she was brilliant, she just didn't, you know what I mean? Like I did my best by her through what I knew, through my program, whatever. But I can also tell you, knowing her as well as I do, that a lot of that programming became her problem, right? Oh no, I got this problem, so I need this. No, oh, you just don't get me. You're not getting me. You don't get me because you don't want. You know what I mean? Like the labels and the diagnoses can be helpful for people in an adult age that don't understand why they're reacting certain ways. I get that. But for young kids to put labels on them and to treat them in certain ways, and I've learned that from my own personal experience, a child that needed some help focusing why to go to school, yeah, Great mom. I know. Point is, I also insert with my youngest child, who seems to be having the most problem truly, connecting to her inner self and living her life. Because my oldest one, though she don't talk to me and she's kind of living life in a weird way,
She lives her own life.
she's living her own life, dude. She's doing it independently, and she's, you know what I mean? She's doing her thing.
Mhm.
I don't love it, whatever. But you know what? I can see
You understand it.
I do. And my other one, well, he's dealing with a whole bunch of just other whatever. But understanding we're all
sometimes you
living
get a
our own
bag,
independent
the
lives
medicine
in
bag
this
that we talk about,
place.
right? The medicine
What was
bag that we
that?
talk about. Well, sometimes in life we actually get a regular bag that has all the tools and stuff we need to create our path with. And
Right.
at times we pull those tools out and we look at them and go, you know what? I don't know how to use this thing here.
That's
Well, I'm
right.
going to put it down. I'm going to try to use the tools I do
Yeah.
know.
Anthony's got some
But
knowledge to
sooner or later,
drop.
you go
Yeah,
back to the
he
tools
does.
you're having so much hard time with, and finally, from the way you finally understand how by holding it, taking the time, and looking at something, and breaking it
Yep.
down, you finally understand how that tool works, and you're kicking yourself
Yep.
for not using this
Oh
tool.
my
in the
God, it
first
could have
place
been
because
so
it was
much
the
easier
easiest
for
tool.
so long. Right. Exactly. And that's just it. And I'm talking about my own life and my own kids. And I'm telling you, I know how much it hurts when your children don't want to talk to you, and when it's not going the way that you saw it or whatever. But let me tell you though, when you can see certain things happening, and it might hurt your heart a little bit. They might have to go
Might
through
hurt
some
your heart a
traumas.
lot.
It might, you know what I mean? It might kill you just a touch. But to know they're willing to experience their lives.
We had to
And
do it.
right? Right?
So
Knowing you did your best by your offspring.
yeah.
Knowing you grew the best plant, you grew the best child, you grew the best whatever, you did the best you could.
Yep, with what you had,
Be
definitely.
willing to reap that harvest. Don't worry about the bullshit. The bullshit happens no matter what. I may have to fucking grow my potatoes 10 times before I get a good potato.
Yeah.
I got good potatoes. Understanding that in all aspects of your life, truly understanding your space and actually recognizing, even when it hurts you, the good you've done. And trust me, some of my good has brought me some heartache.
Mhm.
Understanding and recognizing that it's done good. Now it's up to them to see it the way I do. And then they may never.
And you have to learn
that's
it.
okay.
Like, you don't just get to somebody's not going to just lead you all the way and show you,
right.
Okay, you're going to run into this situation and you have to get through it.
Yeah, we all got to learn our path. We've all got to live
as
the
you get
journey.
more aware, you realize that you have to get through it on your own.
That's right.
Yep.
Like you can aid, or you can have counsel. People, you can ask people questions. Hey, have you been here before?
And
But a
hopefully
lot
have
of
a
the
decent
times
tribe
you
to
have to
that,
do it
but
yourself.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, basically, because if you want to keep yourself in a spot, it doesn't matter how many of those people, how much your tribe's next to you, sending you all the love and all the healing and all the anything. Maybe they're even right there with you, doing surgery on you, but you're over there in your head going, no, fuck it. I'm done. No, this ain't gonna work. We're done. We're just done. That was the last it. How much of everyone else's influence is going to affect your mind, right? All is our mind. When we feel bad, when we feel good, when we're indifferent. When we're indifferent, we actually have a place of growth, right? We get to explore and go, okay, what's actually happening here? Let me take some time to observe.
Right.
An indifferent feeling, dude, if someone tells you they feel indifferent about you, be okay. Great. Because you know what? They haven't put anything on you yet.
Yeah, they don't hate you, so that's good.
Exactly. And ultimately, it's when people start putting things on you, I've noticed in this society, at least today. And as we are awakening, we're taking less of that. But when people put things on you, and maybe this is my own personal thing, I'm starting to realize my lack of growth and the reason I'm growing in certain ways and whatever. Anyway, if you cannot see where it is you're going and what it is you're doing, and give any kind of value to it, you're basically giving yourself up to just bullshit, right? You're taking a position of the ultimate slave. You do it because you have to. It's my job.
That's what we were told.
That's what I was told to do. I don't make the rules.
That's a cop out.
Right? And look, I look at my life, actually, in almost every single one of my jobs where I have done something where I went against the rules. I finally gave away that fucking prize because this motherfucker just paid $300 fucking for this goddamn thing. And you know what? We got a winner. Holy shit. How many times did I let him lose before he finally gets his thing?
He's lost
right?
$1,000
Like,
to give you $300.
I've always been that person, and I know the jobs. That's probably why I don't get many jobs. I don't give a fuck who you are. I know the rules of the game, but this motherfucker has just paid a fucking $1,000 goddamn. We have a winner, do we not? Like, it's a goddamn monkey. Right?
About?
I'm talking about understanding our true value for things. Knowing when things are fun and we want to like get stuff, but how we can get sucked into that, into how this is how things go, right? Had I done things, this motherfucker probably would have broken himself trying to get his girlfriend a monkey. Dude, he wouldn't have had nothing left. Like, I shit you not, he'd paid so much fucking money
for a monkey.
For a fucking monkey.
I was gonna say
no. That just don't mean shit.
They are awful.
Like, I could not help it. I had to quit shortly thereafter because I'm like, I'm basically lying now to my company, so I gotta just. Anyway,
I'm gonna get a monkey.
What just happened? No, you guys, I just got back on, and I'm like, what the fuck just happened? What are you guys talking about?
Yes, I'm talking about the whole like how I, no matter what reason, I look at myself and I'm going, why don't I hold more jobs? Like, people value what I do. They love that I am intricate and I'm like, I do things correctly. So no matter what it is, no matter what service I'm selling, I sell it well. Why am I not doing as well as I should? You know what I mean? As the world would see me doing. A, it's because I do focus on other things more. Okay. But mostly, and B, it's because I don't know how to sell me. Because every time I sell me, someone's got something to say. Right?
Well, that's the way it works.
And I know, and here's the whole thing. My little Leo perfectionism and my whole Libra balance, like, oh my God, like, oh, you didn't like it? I am learning how to deal with me.
Well, that's why I like being a Scorpion, because that way I don't have that worry about that for that sign part of it. So
I'm a Scorpio too.
As a Scorpion, I'm like, hey,
we got 2 Scorpios in the house.
Well,
I'm like, sorry.
My maid is a Scorpio.
Dude, I'm a Sagittarius rising. Okay, I'm all about the unknown. I'm all about just whatever. But I'm a Libra moon and a Leo rising.
Scorpio, the fire sign of the water signs.
That's right.
We're fantastic. Like, we're good.
Look at them. They all tell you.
Right.
Well, I married a Scorpio. I kind of think he's awesome.
I know, but really,
yeah,
the
my
Scorpios
grandpa was
awesome.
By the Chinese zodiac, I'm a dragon. So.
I am a snake.
Oh, it's your year then.
I'm the one that everyone wants to like get rid of. They're trying to chase me out of town and shit.
Well, that just means you're doing something right. That's all it is. Putting in there.
Trying to burn her.
Literally, yeah. It's we got to get rid of this light. It's showing too much stuff.
Right?
Where have you been, Anthony? It's funny.
It's job.
Anthony's good, man.
He's awesome.
It's still a happy job. It's just depending on how you look at it. That's
right. Exactly. That's exactly it.
I tell people all the time. I know how to clean up shit. Put it in the bowl. Put it in a nice bowl and give it back to you.
Yeah.
Because I know how to clean it, and it's right here.
That's right.
And that's what's so funny about it.
Dude,
Anthony, what do you do, dude? What do you do for like a career? I want to know. I'm curious.
Custodial. I do housekeeping and stuff like
that. I've been a janitor.
Custodial's actually like not as like it's a lot more prestigious than you think.
It really is, dude.
I started out that way.
It's an EDA job, right? I run into people. I train them stuff. they thought this is an easy A job. And I'm like, no, you think this is a dumb, I don't have to think while doing this job. I'm like, okay, we'll show you. And by
Right.
the end of the 2
Right.
weeks,
Yeah.
he's ready to give up. He's like, no,
Hard work.
I'm wrong. I'm sorry. Okay, then do what we tell you to do. You'll make your money. And
Right.
but literally, there have been people who are, nope, that's it. I'm out. I'm yeah.
I'm out. I'm done.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, but it shows you, because that's what's so interesting about being a custodial person, because most of the time people don't recognize people as they're going through cleaning the toilet, pulling trash.
See, that's the whole thing. Is when
Let
you
him finish.
Yep, I'm sorry, yep.
You're practically invisible when you're cleaning up for somebody.
Yep.
And they show it all the time in movies and TVs, and I'm like, especially when they're doing in big businesses and stuff for secrets getting out from big business. I'm like, yeah, literally, here's
oh yeah,
go to your custodial staff, and you'll find out exactly who's doing what.
Right, right.
Yeah.
When you call up the cleanup crew,
cab drivers.
Yep.
Fucking custodians. Fucking they all
actual
bus drivers.
Like, service.
They all have
positions.
a secret in.
Yep.
Or what do they call them? The valet.
Yeah.
They know how life works.
You have to go. Thank you very much. And most of the time,
dude, I saw the best and the worst of people in a janitorial position.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you worked for that Fannie Mae or whatever the fuck.
No, I didn't actually. I worked for a company under the table, and this is why I said, okay, I don't always give. Okay, they probably could have a lot more on me, but I've done a lot of things. I was just trying to survive and make my meat, like do my thing. I didn't give a fuck about the whole
politics,
which is probably my problem. I guess
you
maybe
didn't
whatever.
Politics.
But the point is, I was working and I was cleaning up Kmart's. Okay.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah. Under the table, I was making, whatever, fair money, I guess. I only had one kid at this point. And I still have my dad's Social Security. So I had that security of I had a place to live with my mom, and I have enough money to buy diapers and wipes. Here's this company, they're going to pay me on the table. And they did for a while. Don't get me wrong. But I wasn't getting, it wasn't affecting my whole, stability of things whilst actually getting some extras, right? Why do people donate plasma? Because they need an extra $15 for the party. Anyway.
But also, too, on the plasma thing is you have to be healthy enough to give plasma. You have to have healthy enough plasma to give to somebody else.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't want my blood.
Oh, I gave so much. I finally had to stop after a while. I started getting really dizzy every time I donate.
Yeah. It's hard
they
on
give you that really dark juice.
Right. Just I couldn't do it after a while. I'm like,
they're like, sit down for a minute, have some juice and a cookie.
Yeah. Anyway,
I want to circle back really quick, you guys, to something that was like in the very beginning of the show, but obviously my time has been spotty here,
and that's okay.
Yeah, they're redecorating the man cave, and so I have to keep going down and seeing what the fuck they're doing because I don't understand. They're happy, so it's fine.
They're making the man cave right now.
There you go, girl.
They have a man cave. I'm not allowed downstairs unless Tyler tells me to go. I'm not allowed.
Oh, shit.
But that's a man cave.
Oh, so you actually have to be the parent to go down there. That kind of sucks.
Dude,
you can just put rent on.
Jackson, you can go down there anytime you want. So
that's right.
You guys are so. The thing is that I'm so cool with things. If you don't want me down there, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
No.
Right. Until you make me start questioning, so don't make me go down there.
I have
don't fucking make me go down there, dude.
So I can see what
your
space.
Do.
I turn their phone off at a certain time at night, and it turns on the next morning. So I know they're not.
I get you, girl. Right?
Like it's cool.
Like so you have this whole space for yourself. Don't make me have to find out what's going on down here.
It does get a little bit scary. I'm not gonna lie. Like I go down there to do laundry, and I'm like, what the fuck? And then Robbie's like, don't look in the bedroom. I'm like, I don't want to see the bedroom. Like, I just want to get
you can't let boys have too much time together, or they'll blow something up.
You gotta be careful.
Anyway,
but no, that's the whole thing, though.
As long as you don't hear any crashing or breaking of things, you should be okay. So.
I
Right?
do hear that, but I don't know if it's my boys or the dogs, because I have 2 dogs that are both very
Probably
Bo
both.
is very energetic
Yeah,
and quite the
it's-
asshole.
scary. So anyway, wait. Okay, go back to this before I forget. I just wanted to go back to the anarchy thing of the whole group thing. So I just wanted to say for myself super quick that when it's interesting, if I think about the way that I viewed anarchy when I was, let's say, well, younger, like in my early teens, my mid 20s, and then you look at the way I view anarchy now. And at first I was like almost mocking myself, like, oh my God, but then I think about it and I'm like, no, bitch, I really still think the same though, is the thing.
Right? But like, I really don't want no one telling me what to do.
Like I view it now as I did then. I don't think that anarchy is, I mean, obviously depending on who's creating anarchy, I guess. But for me, it was just, I don't want to be told what the fuck. Nobody wants to be told what to do. Like,
see, now for me, anarchy isn't about who's telling you anything, because anarchy is not listening. Like, seriously, like, I'll listen to what I would say.
You don't rule me, motherfucker.
Right? Like, you're not my boss.
It's standing up for yourself, and that's how
I'm willing to do this for you, but like, dude, no.
Remember, you need to appreciate it.
Like, fuck you.
Yeah, that's how we viewed it when I was a kid, and I guess how I still view it now is it's just.
And it is. That's exactly it, dude.
Yeah, I don't try to create problems. I don't try to do, but I will not have someone. I don't reflect my opinion on other people. Like, I will let you know what I think, but by no means do I think you need to think how I think.
And I'm not going to tell you that you need to believe that what I say is
right.
Take
it.
I'm
golden draft.
Fuck, like that is one thing. And I'm transparent as fuck. I don't hide things very well. I don't want to hide things very well. So I guess maybe I am transparent. I don't know, but you know what I mean? And so it doesn't work for me. And so I think anarchy, in my opinion, is just that, like being able to stand up for yourself and what you believe is correct, and not having somebody shit on basically what you believe and telling you, no, you need to do it this way. I don't believe when we all, you guys, I say it so much lately because I feel like it's so like the universal awareness, when we're all able to connect as one and understand that we're one. I know it sounds redundant, but we are really all connected. And if once we get to that spot of nirvana where we're all universally connected, it will all.
We only need to do it for a matter of like 30 seconds, y'all.
Yeah, dude.
If we had 30 seconds with one another and could truly understand
I could smoke everybody out, all the world leaders, right? Like, let's say,
give them some fucking edibles,
the hookah.
Yes. I used to have the coolest hookah. It was an alien. I just have to share this super quick and then I'll shut up. But
dude,
it was
I got like in trouble with DCFS for hookahs. So like,
go ahead.
It was an alien though, and everybody had the little cords. And so when you would smoke the bowl, if you had the lights off, there was like a little red light at the bottom, and so it would look like the spaceship was taking off. And then everybody would hit and clear, and it was like the spaceship would. I mean, because we did a lot of LSD and stuff too, but the spaceship would like shoo, and you're like, hell yeah. Okay, sorry.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I did a lot of controlling.
Fun times,
myself,
good times. So. All right, everybody. Well, we're probably gonna sign off and cut out. I think we've talked about what we need to talk about.
Good night,
and if anybody wants to add something, if you guys want to add something, go ahead. You each have a turn.
Please
go ahead. What was that?
Really, someone trying to control your free will.
Yes,
that's right.
Yes,
that's right. Where the heck did my free will go?
Yep.
And
I had that free will at 2.
How much we have to fight.
That's right.
And me too. I think I always had my free will. I knew it was very important.
Well, see, and that's me too. I was brought plenty of explanations to my behavior, and I always chose to just figure myself out anyway. I went through a lot of traumas. I found myself walking into bullshit because we're learning, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like
every day,
I do not put any of my. I mean, I do. I understand a lot of it's rooted in a certain space, but I don't put any of it in one spot. Knowing and understanding that as a human being, not just a human being, I'm trying to connect with my human being the best I can so I can be the best human being I can. But understanding my human and the way she works, yeah, I said she works.
It's not perfect.
It's not perfect.
It's okay, Rev.
But understanding that it works in a certain harmony
Okay.
and being okay in that harmony, no matter what it looks like,
No.
is the key.
Okay.
Oh.
She got a puppy that's barking.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
He wants to go
guys.
potty.
No,
No,
you're
that's all right. That happens.
No,
around
he's
most
just
of the time.
barking
He's
at a
so-
raccoon.
Animals have sense, Smith. Though.
He's okay.
Yeah, they do.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Like I said, this is the Value for Value show. So if you want to leave a contribution or tip, check the show notes on YouTube and check the title. It's not the title, but you have to leave a description on Facebook. linktr.ee/psychic shaman 333. If you want to leave a small donation or a big donation, whatever that is for you. We love you all.
We do.
Whether you
And
leave
appreciate
it or not, it doesn't
Yeah.
matter, but it helps.
That's right.
But
Just sharing the show.
thank you all for joining us.
having
Christy,
your
Teresa,
opinion.
Anthony.
Anytime.
Yep, anytime.
Good to be with
big-
you
the big
again,
three.
Anthony.
Yep, good to see you too. Like I said, I'm always happy to help.
We'll
And I
talk
hope
to you
y'all
later.
feel my hugs this
And
evening.
we'll see you tomorrow.
'Cause
I'll be doing readings
Send
Sending
tomorrow.
you
all
big
possible
hugs.
back.
Right.
Have a
Much
great
love.
night,
Love you guys.
everyone.
Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.